What's up, y'all? You're watching Brooklyn Shuffleboard, and we are out here at the Royal Palm Shuffleboard Club in Brooklyn, New York for a singles league matchup between Roger from Ting, Tang, Walla, Bing Bang and Nick from the Royal Palms staff. Nick's the manager. Nick's an awesome player. He's only been playing for like a couple years, like started working here around the COVID timing, and he like plays some golf like in his past, and it's translated really well, and he actually won our first singles league. Like, everyone was blown away, mainly because of his shooting style. He shoots with a beer in his hand. He like doesn't seem like he cares at all, but he is incredibly good at shuffleboard. Likes to take a lot of risk. Roger, kind of more of like a clear and score hammer kind of player, doesn't go for a lot of kitchen shots, whereas Nick does. So this should be a really, really entertaining match. This is frame 1 of 16. We're doing 16 frame games as part of the group play, and as Nick clears it off. And yeah, we're still pretty early. I think we're like halfway through the group. We have different groups of 8 people. Everyone plays each other in the group, kind of like World Cup style, as Roger hits a 10. And then the top half of each group goes on to a knockout bracket, like a single elimination tournament. Yeah, so they already did the warm-up shots, frame 1, as I mentioned. And Nick with the hammer, just trying to keep it clear and score the hammer. That one didn't really clear it off. I mean, Roger could go down the alley and try to hide behind that if he wants to. Or he could just block up on the right and kind of make Nick's hammer difficult, because if Roger puts a disc right in front of the 8, then Nick is going to have to like bump his own disc in. I think that might be what Roger's going for here. Oh, he's just going straight up for a 10, and he does not get it. I think maybe he's going for a high 8 on the right. But still, blocks up really nicely, and now Nick has to make this bump shot, which is like not an easy shot to make. He's going to bump his own black disc into an 8 on the left. I mean, I guess he could go down the alley on the right, but I think seems like he's lining up for a bump shot. And he's changing his mind. Yeah, going down the alley on the right, going for an 8 or a 7. That looks pretty solid. Get there, get there. Nasty shot. I think that's in. Is that in? He's not calling it. No facial expression at all behind that thick, thick beard of his. Yo, that's in, right? Yeah, that's it. Nice hammy from Nick. So this is court 3. Court 3 is very difficult to play on, especially on yellow. Whoever's playing black has an advantage where pretty much where you're aiming, it's going to go. There are a couple of nuances on the court that make it a little bit difficult, but for the most part, it is pretty straightforward on black. Yellow, though, right where that black disc ended up, you can kind of see it curve left a little bit. There's sort of like a hump on the court that makes it really hard when you're shooting through to know where it's going to go. And as a result, whoever is playing yellow is like probably going to miss some shots, at some point in the match. But yeah, Nick is just sort of throwing up perfect St. Pete's, and Roger's trying to clear him, and then Roger sticks the clear, and now this is where it gets interesting. Nick is going to go for a hide here, and he's shooting from the outside. His goal is to score an 8 or a 7 on the left where that yellow disc is in the way. And Nick shoots it pretty nicely. Oh, it hooks left on him. Wow. So yeah, that's kind of what I was saying with like black. There is a little bit of nuance. I actually just played a match on this court a couple minutes ago. And when you are shooting from the outside on black, it does kind of hook left really hard as you're shooting. And that probably pulled Nick's disc to the left. Roger with the hammer just trying to keep it clear. Blasting discs. I mean, he didn't clear it, but like he did not give Nick any hiding opportunities. So Nick is going for that 10 or blocking up the board. Either way, blocked it up pretty nicely. And Roger with the hammer shot here. He's thinking about it. So this is what I'm saying. If he goes for a hammer on the left, it's going to go over that patch that I just mentioned is like really tricky. It'll either push the disc left really hard or it'll push the disc right really hard. You really never know what to expect from that section. So if I'm him, I would probably want to aim cross court because it's a little bit straighter. But he is, I don't know, he's definitely thinking about it. He's of two minds right now. Nick checks his watch. And Roger lining up for the hammy. And that looks all right. Oh, see, it hooked it left, but he made it into the 7. Yeah, you could just see as that disc got to that point, it made a sharp left turn, but he gave it enough power where it kind of pushed through and ended up as a 7. So after 2 frames, we have 7 yellow, 8 black. Yeah, still anyone's game as we start frame 3 of 18. Yeah, Nick really, I gotta say, I can't really like say enough about how much his style of play impresses me. And that beer in the front, it works really well for him. And I'm not even like joking around. Now we'll like kind of get a little serious. There's something about sort of stabilizing your shoulders from like rotating as you shoot that the beer really does that. Like, as Roger can't clear it again. Yeah, a lot of players put their offhand behind their back to kind of, stabilize it. Some people I've seen in Ohio, Bob Jones Jr. puts his hand kind of like on his chest or his stomach. And that beer is like, it's the Bob Jones Jr. of working at the Royal Palms Brooklyn, where like you're paid, you get paid to people drink, so you're like promoting drinking no matter if you're on the court or off the court, baby. All right, so Nick puts up a St. Pete, and now things get a little interesting here too, where Roger could bump his in. Oh, he's just looking to clear it, keep it clear. Yeah, Roger's very much of that mindset of like, everything I can do to not enter a shootout, especially when I'm on the bad color, I'm going to do that, as Nick puts up a better block. So like Roger could bump that into points or something like that, but he's just thinking, if I clear that black one more time, then I'll probably have an open-ish hammer. Ooh, now he's lining up for what looks to be a bump shot. All right, he bumps it, and it carries deep. No good. Yeah, just past the kitchen. Yeah, almost self-kitchened himself. Like, got lucky. I mean, he's trying to bump that into an 8 or a 7, so he overshot it a lot. Got a little lucky that he overshot it more than he expected. And then Nick, just with a pretty sweet little block there, filled in that gap. So now Roger with the hammer, I mean, he has the right side to shoot down. It's not really blocked up, but it's like, less open than it was if he had kept the board clear. So he goes for it. Oh, and he goes for the bump again, and he does not get it. That's really interesting. He opted, instead of shooting down the right, to try to bump his own in, which, I don't know, based on my experience playing that, I feel like that's probably a slightly lower percentage shot versus just going down the right side. But to each his own, He had a shot to make, couldn't get it done on his hammer, and we are going into the 4th frame, and it's 7 yellow, 8 black. So this is really interesting. The score's 7-8, but Nick has an extra hammer here because we're going into the 4th frame. Roger's had 2 already, and Nick's only had 1. So Nick is kind of in the driver's seat, up 1 with the hammer on this frame, as he clears it really nicely. And then Roger's probably putting up another block. Yeah, puts up another St. Pete. Ooh, a little deep. Actually, maybe he was just shooting for an 8. That's kind of not like him, so I'm not sure if he decided to flip the script and go on the board or if he overshot that St. Pete. But either way, Nick is going for it. Nick clears it nicely. I mean, Roger could hide behind that a teeny bit, but not really. He would have to shoot a really deep 7 to hide behind that. And instead, Roger, with the defensive move, blocking up, stopping Nick from being able to bump that black disc into points himself. And, yeah, Nick has an extra disc here, and he is just keeping it clear. Ooh, I don't love that. I think he was probably trying to clear the yellow one based on his body language. And now Roger has a little bit more space to hide if he wants it. When he's not doing it, he's lining up in the middle. He just wants to go for that 10, and he gets the 10. So that is not a high 10. So there is space for Nick to hit that straight on and stick his disc in the 10, but it is definitely not an easy shot. All right, he shoots at it. Looks pretty good, and he gets it and almost gets the kitchen. Wow, got that 10. Super nice shot. That is not an easy shot, especially on this court. And after 4, it is 7 yellow, 18 black. That is one of like the most desirable shots in shuffleboard, is when your opponent leaves you a big fat 10 like that, and you just like, you can miss it a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right, and it's still going to stick there because it's so deep in the 10 area. Getting it and kitchening it, it's a 20-point shot basically. -10 for your opponent, 10 for yourself. That is like, that blows games wide open. All right, so Roger starts it off with like kind of giving Nick a Tampa, but Nick with the lead is just trying to clear it. Yeah, I mean, Nick could have hit behind that, which I kind of expect him to go for, but he kind of realizes he's up 11 right now, and keeping it clear and scoring the hammer is sort of the way that he could grind out this win, even though there's still 12 whole frames left. Nice clearing again. Wow, Nick is consistent right now. All right, Roger with another St. Pete. That one travels a little long. Doesn't, even if Nick sticks it, it doesn't really, it reduces the space that Roger can hide behind, which Nick clears it pretty nicely. So Roger's last shot before Nick's hammer. This is the one where everyone's like, what do you do with this disc? Do you just block it up or do you go for a high score? He goes for another 10, does not get it. And now Nick with an open hammer down the right side. He just has to make sure he doesn't miss this to our left and knock Roger in. Now that looks pretty good. And it sticks the line. Wow. I hate that line so much. So much. It's just like, it's almost kind of like random whether you hit that line or not, because it's hard to have the finesse of like sticking an 8 on every hammer. So usually you're like gonna stick an 8 or a 7. And whether it sticks that line or not is, it's just like kind of the shuffleboard gods slowing the disc down. I mean, in this case, I love a close match, so him missing that and not growing the lead keeps things a little bit tighter, keeps things a little bit more interesting. So I'm not, I guess, that mad about it. All right, Roger keeping it clear. So Roger's down 11 now, but he has 2 hammers left, and Nick only has 1 before they switch colors. So Roger's thinking right now, I'm only down 11. If I keep it clear and score the next 2 hammers, I will be in the lead going into the 8th frame. So he's just trying to keep it clear, score that hammer, and grind his way back into this instead of trying for some fireworks. Oh, is that disc, as it stopped, it really curled left here. Roger with another clear, clears it pretty well. And Nick with the last disc. Let's see what he goes for. Maybe going for another 10 like he did last time. Goes for it, gets a deep-ish 10. It's not high enough where, I mean, the same thing. If Roger hits it straight on, he could score the 10. He might even be able to kitchen it. And let's see, man. This will be huge if he gets this. Shoots at kitchen speed, does not get the 10, and doesn't get the kitchen. That's tough, yeah. The thing is, if you're going for the kitchen, you gotta use what people refer to as kitchen speed plus. Basically, it means aim to shoot it a little bit harder than you would to put your opponent in the kitchen. And that way, if you miss a little bit, you accidentally shoot a little too soft, then you don't leave them in points, you get them in the kitchen. Because if you're aiming straight up at the kitchen and you undershoot it, you leave your opponent in. And that's a perfect example of it. Like if Roger hit that straight on, he probably would have left Nick in about the 7. Yeah, also the harder you shoot, the sort of more your disc cuts through the drift. So maybe shooting a teeny bit harder would have been smarter there, but still, the clear and replace the 10 is not an easy shot. Yeah, Roger misses a St. Pete clear, so now Nick is like, has the opportunity to go for it and hide an 8 all the way on our left side or a 7, and it'll be perfectly hidden. And he gets it. I thought he clipped that block. So he got that really nicely, but there is a line that I can see down the alley where Roger can go down the alley and get that out. And he gets it. Nice shot, Roger. Really nice shot. However, Nick just has another chance to do the same thing, but do it a little bit better and get that really hidden. And that might get it done. Oh, no, that one curved to our right a little bit. Interesting. The first one curved a little left. That one curved right. And Roger can see this down the middle now. Goes for it and gets it again. Roger, 2 for 2 with these like high pressure clears on partially hidden discs. But Nick with the 10 number 3, can he get it perfectly hidden? That is not going to get it done. I think that's on the 7-8 line. I mean, it looks definitely better hidden. Oh, he's looking a little bit closer. No good. No good. That's rough. Man, I hate that 7-8 line. That one would have been the left-right aim of it was better. But he stuck the line, and then Roger with the open court hammer gets the 7. And just as I said, Roger clawing his way back in this thing. Didn't score last frame, scored on the frame that just finished, and now he's down 4 points. But Nick with the extra hammer here in frame 8. Nick keeps it clear, scores the hammer. He's going to be 25 or 26 to 14. So Nick still with a bit of an advantage. It's been a great match so far. It's kind of a low-scoring game, but definitely a close, tight match. All right, Roger with a block on the right. And Nick sticks it. Kind of stuck it in a good way, though, where it moved left just a tiny bit, and it kind of made it so that cross-court hide that Roger was hoping to get kind of shut off. I mean, he can go for it, but it really has to get it perfectly, and I think it's so hard a shot that he's not trying to go for it. Instead, he tries to kitchen that, I think, and doesn't get the kitchen, and instead just leaves Nick with a perfect same Tampa high that he doesn't go for. Wow, that's pretty surprising. I mean, Nick could have very easily put an 8 or a 7 on, and it would have been perfectly hidden. But instead, he's opting to play the scoreboard. Trust his silent captain. He's up 4 with an extra hammer. If he clears everything and scores, he's in good shape. Just knowing this court, though, I think a little bit of more pressure on black, I think, might have been nice. Oh, and he goes for the kitchen that time. See, that's like conflicting. He didn't go for the hide, opted to play it safe, and that time he opts to play aggressive and kitchen it, kind of like flip-flopping a little bit on the aggression level. Leaves Roger in the 7, and Roger with the kitchen. I think that's good. Wow. Roger scores the 8 and kitchens Nick, and suddenly there's 15 yellow points on the board and negative 10 black. And Nick with a huge hammer shot to get back in this frame. Oh, man. Did he get it? Oh, a little too hard. All right. Really good frame for Roger. Almost leaves Nick hanging on the pound. That is 7 yellow, negative 2 black. So it is 21 yellow and 16 black. And Roger just surges ahead with a really nice frame. Kind of driven by... Started with Nick not going for the hide down the alley, which I think if you're going to try to play aggressive, like, that's a perfect Tampa. Just go for it. You're on the black side of the court, which is a little bit better. Then Roger goes on the board. Nick switches gears and tries to kitchen it, leaves Roger in points, then Roger with the nasty kitchen, and suddenly it is like this match is flipped around where Roger's up 5. All right, they're taking a little break, which means I'm taking a little break. I'll join you in a moment. All right, y'all, we are back. We are about to begin frame 9. These players just switch colors. Nick's playing on yellow now. Roger's playing on black. And they are, they're forgoing the warm-up shots. This is something I would never, ever do. Because this court, I mean, you're at this point. So if you don't, the point of the warm-up shots is to figure out what's going on with the court. Like, where do you need to aim to score an 8? If your opponent puts an 8 on the board, where do you need to aim to hit it straight on? And to forgo warm-up shots means that they're just sort of like guessing as to the drift. But they're going for it, man. This is going to be a wild second half of the match, I think. All right, Nick goes for the hide, doesn't get it because of this little drift, and now Roger is going down the alley and gets it. Nasty, nasty hide. That is pretty much perfectly hidden. Nick can maybe see the edge of it if he goes cross-court. If I'm Nick, maybe he's hiding again, but I think this court kind of curves to the left when you're trying to hide behind those black discs up front. So, Nick's just clearing it out. That's probably a smart shot. Clear it out, see if Roger can block it up on a kind of weird drifty court. Yeah, this should be interesting. Can he get the block? He undershoots it. Oh, it curves left a little bit. That looks pretty good. I think Nick can go down the alley and see it, but I don't know if he can score on it. But we will see. Puts it with muscle and gets it so nicely. That was millimeters away from clipping that block up front. That was a high pressure, really nice shot. Way to go, Nick. And then Roger taking a beat before he shoots that hammer. He almost had a 2-score frame there if Nick clipped that block. Kind of thought that block was good enough. So now he's just going to score his hammer, taking a little bit of time to compose himself, and launches into it, and it is good. Nice hammy. Yeah, great hammer by Roger. I love it. So right now we got frame 9. We got what is that? 16 to 29. 13-point lead. Oh, he's talking to the crowd a little bit. He's saying he was tempted to go for some sort of miracle shot. That's not really Roger's style. His style is execute the fundamentals really, really well. And he's really a great player. His team, Ting, Tang, Walla, Bing Bang, they've made it to the banquet several times. They've won the team tournament before. Roger made it to the semifinals of Thanksgiving, our annual singles tournament, beat me in the round of 8. Really, really strong player. He's a friend of the team, too. Yeah, we love Roger. He's a really good dude. Also a really good coach to newer teams who joined the league, trying to get them up to speed on shuffleboard strategy, good shooting form, helping these teams that just started recently catch up, make up for lost time for the teams like my team, the Golden Tangs, that's been playing since 2014. It's like, how do you compete against teams with 9 years of experience? You have someone like Roger coaching you, trying to get you better really quick. Yeah, really, really love shuffleboard. Overall, great guy. And yeah, Rogers is still throwing up those St. Pete's. That one is short. All right, I gotta boo him. Hold on, I gotta make sure it's actually not on the line yet before I boo him. All right, it's safe. Boo! Boo! Look at that walk of shame back to us. When you don't make the lag line, that's like, you do the walk of shame. You're like, oh, I didn't accomplish anything with that disc, and I got to walk down and clear it. And now there's no way I'm going to have anything to hide behind. Ooh, he's taking off the flannel. Maybe excessive warmth caused him to come up short on that. Oh, dope shirt. Oh, he has this amazing, Toxic Avenger-esque illustration. Nick doesn't know the right shot, he's saying. The right shot, I don't know, it's a close game. Throw it off. Or go on the board. I mean, that doesn't matter. That's a perfectly fine shot. You're basically taking a practice at what an 8 feels like in a place that doesn't block up the board for you. So that's fine. It doesn't give Roger anything to hide behind. That was like a completely neutral shot. And Roger goes for the high 8. So Roger being up 13 right now. I don't know if he wanted to give Nick that kitchen opportunity. However, the left side of the court is wonky. Nick goes for it and gets the kitchen, baby. Does not get the 8, but gets the kitchen. And that's what I'm saying is well, first off, that was an amazing shot from Nick. Way to go. And it's 16 yellow and 19 black. Awesome shot from Nick. However, let's go back to what I was saying before. With Roger, that's, the only way, not the only way, but one of the ways that Nick can crawl back in this is if you give him something to kitchen. Like if Nick scored 8 and kitchen, that would have been 18, and suddenly Nick has the advantage of this match. Whereas if you just blocked it up and Nick scored an open board 8 or whatever, Roger still is in the driver's seat, still up with the same number of hammers left. So going for the high 8 there, and then getting the deep 8, maybe not the right shot. However, I get what he's thinking, because the left side of the court is really tricky, and Nick could have very easily missed it. And Nick, with what I'm calling a pretty nasty hide. I think Roger could see it down the right, so... but that was I love hides, and that was great. And, yeah, Roger clips the block. Nick with an amazing hide down Suicide Alley, scoring a 7. And suddenly, he's feeling pretty good this frame. He can either block it up or he can just go on the board again. He's opting to block it up. That looks really nice. Roger with a big shot here. He has to get this. Oh, he got it. Nick did not block it up well enough, I guess. However, Nick with the shot of that black disc, open board, open line to that black 7. Hit it straight on, kitchen it, do whatever you want. Going kitchen speed, and he does not get it. That is on the line. He's gonna come down and double check. He was asking me if it was in, and I'm like, I can't really tell. Yeah, it's not in. So, yeah, Roger. What does Roger do here? Last shot before Nick's hammer. You can block up the board, make Nick have to score down Suicide Alley on the left. Or he could try to get that 8 cross court. And I don't know. I think it's worth going for. Any hide opportunity with your last disc. If the score is pretty even, like it is now, Roger's only up 3, I think you gotta get that 8. Because if you get that 8, then you're basically just stealing his hammer. Oh, baby, get it. Oh, he clips it. Oh, I wanted that. I love nasty hides. And Nick with the open hammer. Nick with this hammer could take the lead. Looks pretty good. Nails it. Almost completely covers that 8. And he takes the lead 24-19. And we are going into the 12th frame. Nice frame. A lot of action in that frame. Started with a pretty sweet alley shot. Roger, smartly clearing that first one, making Nick put up another block, which he couldn't do. Opened up the lane for Roger to clear it out. End result, Nick with the open hammer. But nice recovery from Roger after Nick hiding a really nice disc. All right, Nick's St. Pete's a little long, but Roger is trying to clear it anyway. And he clears it pretty nicely to the left. It's like, I don't know. I mean, I guess he could hide behind that, but he would have to really finesse a deep 7. And Nick recognizes, he's like, all right, if we want to play the cross-court hide game, I'll put up a better St. Pete, and I'll have better chances at hiding than you will. And Roger with a really nice clear. Kind of a finesseful clear. I'm in the clear hard camp, especially because the courts here are so slow. But he's finessing it a couple times in a row now really nicely. Nick with another St. Pete. And Roger with another finesseful clear. Finesseful. Making up words, baby. With a clearing with finesse. And then Nick's last shot, he is going for 10 and gets a pretty deep 10. It's not super deep, but it's pretty deep. And Roger can hit it on. Let's see if Roger can do what Nick did in the first half, which was clear it out and stick it. Don't worry about the kitchen. Clear it out and stick it. Get those 10. And Roger hooks it left and leaves Nick in points. Oh, my gosh. That's so rough. Oh, man, that is so rough. And, yeah, I hate to say it, but I talked about that earlier this match where Roger had a different one where he was trying to clear and replace the 10, going for the kitchen and just, massively undershot it. And I was saying you need to drive the disc you're aiming at through the back of the kitchen. Shoot with what we call kitchen plus. That way if you undershoot a little bit, you get the kitchen. And if you shoot at the speed you intended or shoot it harder, you just clear and replace and score the 10. Instead he undershoots, the drift gets a little bit of the best of him, and he scores 8. He scores Nick's disc on his hammer. All right, Nick throwing up St. Pete's. Roger with a really, really nice clear where it rolls to a St. Pete for his own. And now Nick's he looks like he's going to do what people call filling in. Filling in is when you block up that cross-court alley that Roger would need to hide behind that black disc. And he does a really, really nice job of it. And Roger just trying to Oh, he's trying to kitchen that, and he almost gets it. Wow. That would have been nasty. If he got that, Nick would have had to clear his kitchen out, and Roger would have had that cross-court hide. Man. Really, really close there. And then Nick probably just going to, I don't know, he's probably going to continue to block up the board. Maybe he fills in again. Maybe he knocks one of those black discs out and leaves his disc there so Roger can't bump. You know, because if he fills in, Roger can bump one of those black discs, I can't say the word discs, into an 8. He fills in. Oh, that was really nice. He fills in and also kind of stops Roger from bumping that black disc that's on the right. That was a really nice shot. He kind of blocked the hiding lane and also blocked the bump. And Roger just trying to clear it up, does a good enough job where he opens that left side of the board back up. And then Nick, just nice and easy, blocking the center. I like that. So Roger, with the open court hammer, he can think about whether he wants to try to kitchen that yellow disc. He is not. Oh, he kind of is going for it, and he does not get it. It hooked left. Yeah, the speed would have been 100% perfect, honestly. He got the speed right on, but he missed it by, I don't know, let's call it 12 inches. Oh, man, going for the hero shot. I mean, I get what he's thinking. He's like, if I scored that hammer, yeah, I don't know. He's like, I'm running out of frames here. I'm going to try to kitchen that, and hopefully that will be the frame where I claw back. He gave me an opportunity, but at the same time, the higher percentage shot, just sort of going for the 8, and then grinding your way back in it. But either way, he missed it, and now he has to sort of play a very aggressive strategy, which is go on the board for kitchen bait, hope your opponent sticks their disc instead of clearing it like Nick did, and then put him in the kitchen. And that, I am sure, is what we're going to see this frame. All right, Roger puts one on the left, and Nick with another nice clear. Really nice clears today from Nick. He hasn't really been sticking a whole lot. And Roger with another one. Really nice 7 on the right. And Nick sticks it. So this is what Roger has been waiting for. And this is his last disc of the frame. He has one shot at it this frame. Kitchen that yellow. All right, he's lining it up. Shoots it pretty nicely. And I don't know. I don't think he got it. The 8 is on the 8, the black is on the 8-7 line. He's really walking down there, though. It's going to be close. Not in. Wow, really, really nice try from Roger. And Nick with an open board hammer on the left. And Nick gets it. Ooh, I don't know. That could be on the 8-7 line. No. Roger says it's not in. Nick with an opportunity to really, really take the lead or really expand the lead, and ends up on that 8-7 line that I hate so much. However, just like before, it keeps the game closer. They each have one hammer left. Nick is up 13. So if Nick keeps it clear, if Nick scores a hammer here, that 13 will be 20, and he'll go into the last frame up 20 with Roger's hammer. And a 20-point, scoring 20 in a frame is not easy. So Nick, just keep it clear, score the hammer. That's sort of the mindset right now, to grind out this win. And he does a good job with the first one. I mean, that's a disc that Roger could kitchen, but I think it's still probably smarter to go on the board and play that kitchen bait. On the line, really nice shot, though, near the center of the board. More likely that Nick will stick if Roger's disc is toward the center of the board. And Nick with another really nice clear, clearing really well. All right, Roger's second to last disc. Another kitchen bait, this time right in the middle of the 8. If I'm Roger, I'd probably be throwing kitchen bait on the left side, just knowing that the drift's a little weird there. But it is what it is. It's over now. And Nick with a lucky. Oh, actually, that wasn't lucky. That was a skill shot, baby. Nick with a really skillful clear. Bumped that dead disc to the right, off of it into the kitchen. Come on, Roger, get that. All right, Roger with a nice clear. All right, I'm glad Roger got that out. Anytime you see a lucky shot like that, you kind of don't want it to influence the outcome of the game. All right, Nick with a huge hammer to put this game out of reach. And he sticks another line. Oh, my God, he stuck another 7-8 line. I think there's something weird on the court over there where the disc is like more likely to stick on the 7-8 line. Because I feel like in my match against Paul, I saw that a bunch of times. In this match, we've seen that several times. That's interesting. It could just be like randomness and like weird dumb luck, or there could be something weird on the court where it kind of like maybe curves up. Maybe it's like a U-shaped sort of like drift where it gets past the 8 and then it stops on the line before the 7 because the 7's on an incline. I don't really know. But we are going into the last frame. Roger with the hammer, down 13. Yeah, it's going to come down to the final frame, and I love when that happens. All right, Nick with the first disc. A lot of people throw this off, which Nick with the smart throw off the side. So the way this frame is going to play out is that Roger's going to go on the board, and Nick has to clear everything off. The throw off is the right shot because, like, you're not going to go for any hides anyway. Roger's going on the board, and Nick sticks it. Wow. All right, Roger needs this kitchen. Needs this kitchen. Oh, no, he just whiffs it left. Oh, man. All right, well, that yellow disc's still on the board. Nick has to get it clear, or else Roger could go for the kitchen on the next one. All right, he shoots it hard, and he whiffs it. All right. We are in business, baby. Roger with the second kitchen attempt. He absolutely needs this one. If he doesn't get this one, it's pretty much game over. He absolutely needs to knock that yellow in the kitchen. All right, he shoots it. Looks pretty good. And he gets the kitchen. That is so nasty. Wow. All right, he's checking if the 8's in. We know the yellow's in the -10. The 8 is in. All right, what does Nick do? Nick's in tough shape. You got to clear the black into the yellow. Because if you clear your own out of the kitchen, Roger has an open board hammer to win. If you clear the black out and don't clear the kitchen, Roger has an open board hammer to win. I guess you could. Its two options is kitchen the black disc and score, or knock the black disc into the kitchen to clear it. And Nick goes for the kitchen, and he gets it. He gets it. Wow, baby. Is that 2? Let's go. Oh, that is so huge. So what does Roger do here? He needs to take a second and think about it. That's what he needs to do. He needs to clear himself out of the kitchen using that yellow disc. Knock that yellow disc into the kitchen to clear it out and score an 8. Or just kitchen the yellow disc and score an 8. All right, last shot of the game. Looks pretty good. Oh, no. He gets the kitchen but doesn't get the 8. That's not enough, though. He gets the kitchen, but he doesn't get the 8. And that was an incredible frame where we end up 12 yellow, 9 black. Nick wins by 3 points. And, yeah, that was a fun one, baby. Nick with the win. Sorry, Roger. Oh, that was great. That was great. You got to love when a match comes down to the last frame. Oh, that was so good. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching Brooklyn Shuffleboard. I know that one was entertaining, and I hope it was educational as well. Hope you learned a little bit about shuffleboard strategy. We're trying to do these videos all the time, really make the commentary focused on strategy, trying to elevate this Brooklyn Shuffleboard community, get everyone better through new content around strategy. I will catch y'all on the next one. Peace out.